Alright guys, good afternoon and welcome. I'm just finishing lunch with Ubuntu Mate, but today we're going to talk a little bit about the latest elementary OS number 7 called Horus, because I have a little bit of time, about a half hour or so. So a little bit of a chat about that and some other quick news. First of all, a big shout out and thank you to all of my supporters. You can see here they're all celebrating Total OS, and thank you, those of you who are watching this. That's such a nice picture. Anyway, thank you. Alright, let me get a quick drink here. I just had a nice juicy fajita. It was delicious. Alright. I'm just chilling right now, listening to my dad's tunes before I go to therapy, physical therapy. I broke my hand trying to install Arch Linux, and I'm fine. It's just a joke. I got to take somebody else to therapy. Anyway, before we talk about elementary OS, just a couple of tidbits here before we talk about elementary. You may have seen these commercials for the Calm app. Help you sleep, meditation, reduce stress and anxiety. I actually downloaded this on one of my Chromebooks. So I'm going to take a look at it, do a quick recording of this, and show you what this thing looks like. I usually use my Alexa hockey puck piece of hardware that I got on Amazon several years ago. It was on sale at the time for like 30 bucks. There is a skill for that I use called Star Trek Warp Core that helps me fall asleep. But this got my attention, this Calm, because of the commercials I saw. So let me know if you guys use something like this. Alright, also, before we talk about elementary, a very good article here. Revive your old computer by turning it into a Chromebook using Chrome OS Flex from Popular Science. Breathe new life into your ancient dust-covered laptop by installing Chrome OS Flex. I did last year on a laptop that had Windows Vista. Yeah, that Windows Vista. And the freaking thing worked. I mean, at the time, Chrome OS Flex was in, I think, in alpha stage. Something like that. Developer stage should not have worked, but it did, and it worked beautifully. So if you have an old machine laying around, at least 4 gigs of RAM, I believe, 64-bit, check out the Linux-powered Chrome OS Flex. Amazing, amazing piece of technology. Again, this is from Popular Science. All right, let's go into the latest with elementary OS number 7. This is from the founder, Danielle Foray. I hope I said that right, Danielle. All right, so this comes about 1 year later after the last elementary OS, which was 6.1. It looks like. This will not be a full review of this, and I've talked about elementary a couple times before that you can search the channel here on Total OS. I liked what I saw. It looked very polished. It's just not something for me, and we'll talk about that later. So today we're proud to announce OS number 7, codenamed Horus. All right, and I believe this will also be available for purchase on computers. Yeah, which is cool. Alright, helping you get the apps you need. App Center is the centerpiece of elementary OS. The primary purpose of any operating system is to support the apps that you use to work and play. Basically, we have here, you have a couple of ways to take a look at the apps and downloading them. As you can see from the screenshots, yeah, I think it looks fine. The entire app loads much faster and provides more feedback when running background tasks via an overlay bar in the bottom right or left corner. So basically you have a full page look, or full screen look, or this tiled look, similar to the tile look of the YouTube chat box. So yeah, I think it looks fine. And we have, looks like the screenshots here of the apps have been improved. Looks good. Getting updates, staying up to date with the latest versions of apps is something we hear often is very important to folks using elementary OS. Flatpak makes it simple for developers to publish app updates quickly, and now you can get those updates automatically. Okay. If you are new to all this, meaning if you are a Windows user, maybe you've dabbled with Linux, or you've heard about me and the channel Total OS Today, and you're curious, I think that's fantastic, and you should be curious. You may find out that Linux might be something for you or better for you. That being said, from my experience, if you are new, I would stay away from Flatpaks, snaps, app images. They are very unpredictable. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they'll take a long time to launch. One of the Firefox Snap, I did a video on that. It took like minutes to launch. I mean, it was ridiculous. This, I think, part of the problem goes back to what I've talked about. I wish we had a global Linux standard machine. And the only thing we have right now are Chromebooks. And that's fine, but I wish we had more. And I think that's part of the problem here. So, generally speaking, if you have a choice, okay, stay away from Flatpaks, snaps, and app images. You may find them to be frustrating and disappointing. And you may say, as a Windows user, man, I tried to install a Flatpak or a snap, it was too slow, and you might wind up saying Linux sucks. That would not be a fair statement, and that's why I'm saying in general. Now, if you have a spare machine that's been laying around that you don't use, that's fine. But if you want to use a main production machine or your everyday machine, stay away from Flatpak, snaps, and app images, and that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, side loading and alt stores. Side-loading apps and using alt stores like FlatHub is a major feature of elementary OS and a competitive edge over closed platforms. Well, that's debatable in my opinion, but at least you have a choice, and that's good. Keep in mind that snap packages and software like that, the download size is huge, or as Bernie Sanders says, it's huge. Anyway, yeah, they will take up a lot more space. All right, web apps. In the theme of accessing apps you need, we're shipping the very latest GNOME Web 43. Okay, I believe Elementary has their own desktop environment, I believe. It's been a while since I've used. I think it's called Pantheon. Correct me if I'm wrong. The GNOME desktop environment is not my favorite for absolute beginners to Linux. It looks cool. I prefer the Mate desktop. All right, so installed web apps can be managed from inside GNOME Web. Again, everything here looks really good. A lot of work went into this, into the look and polish of this operating system. All right, installation, initial setup, and onboarding. We've done a decent amount of work this cycle on reducing the number of screens in the installer and providing more information to help you make informed decisions. I like that. For example, we now warn about connecting to power when on battery using an info bar instead of a separate page. Okay. Let's see here. And speaking of virtual machines, we've resolved issues that make the installer window too large to be interacted with on some virtual machines. All right. I'm all for making life easier. All right. So it looks like we have some theming here from sunrise to sunset to sunrise. Option for dark. Yeah, dark themes are good. We have a nightlight feature for a warmer temperature, warmer look at night. This is not something I use personally, but hey, it's there if you need it. All right, office productivity is always important to mail. Now sports a more modern, flatter design as a first step towards making it more responsive. The unified inbox now supports Microsoft 365 accounts. Nice. And multiple potential crashes, freezes have been resolved. Excellent. All right, let's see, what else do we have here? Printer settings. Yeah, printing on Linux has gotten much, much easier over the years. So you shouldn't have an issue installing a printer in the elementary OS or any modern supported Linux-based system. At least I don't think so. I currently use an HP printer. Those seem to have one of the latest, one of the least issues when it comes to finding drivers in general. multimedia. It looks like there's a new music app. I believe they just call this Music. As music streaming services have emerged, there's been a shift away from the old paradigm of importing music from CDs. That's probably true. Carefully curating playlists and syncing music from your computer to mobile devices. Okay. We received lots of feedback that music wasn't meeting folks' needs and the old code base was becoming prone to issues. Well, it's good that developer is listening to the feedback to make the system better. That's always greatly appreciated. So something like this, yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. All right. Looks like this is Music Player 7. Screenshot here. Oh, it says videos can now be controlled from the sound indicator, like an Ubuntu Mate. I like that. No tweaking involved. Excellent. All right, so he talks about system settings. Settings are meant to make the operating system more accessible to a wider range of people with various needs and ways of working. Okay, I would agree with that. Very good. You know, this operating system does lots of use of space, of white space, and specific icons and colors, which makes it very pleasing to the eye. Almost like a Mac OS style. I don't own a MacBook, but I've seen MacBooks, and this reminds me of that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Performance. I want to make a special note here about performance, he says. In just about every section I could have individually written about performance over and over again. The team has spent quite a bit of time tracking down slowdowns, reworking old code, and so on. Always interested in performance. The first thing to me is stability. The second thing is speed. The third thing is special looks. The 3 S's of Linux: stability, speed, and special looks. If you don't have stability, nothing else matters. Not just Linux, but like anything, whether you're using Windows, Mac, Chrome OS, or whatever. If it's not stable, who cares? What else do we have here? Iconography. Nearly all app icons have been redesigned to be based on a uniform tile shape. And judging what I see here, looks fine. You know, if a system can be made to look more snazzy, sure, I'm all for that. And this looks fine. Like I said, it looks great. All right, there's now also an icon browser app available in the App Center where you can see all of the icons shipped. Okay, cool. GTK4, a little bit of discussion about that. The latest version of our app framework, Granite. Okay. Tools, talks about code. And some special thanks. Again, this is Elementary OS 7. This is a pay what you can afford type of download. And it looks hardware retailer devices or hardware retailers, laptop with Linux, Slimbook, and Star Labs. I believe Zorn OS, one of my favorites, one of my top 3 Linux systems for beginners, I believe, has partnered with Star Labs. So you may want to take a look at that if you're interested in buying a Linux system that's pre-installed. Besides if you're looking for something other than a Chromebook, I have not looked or tested these other types of machines. The only Linux-powered machines that I use are pretty much Chromebooks because they are a global Linux standard, and I'm all for not having a bunch of headaches, as it were. All right. I'll take a quick look here in the chat. I'm going to wrap this up, so let me get to my other screen here. And let's see what we got here. Okay, well, we have, am I reading this? Mule Plays says hello. Cody Lamer says hello. How are you? Yeah, it's pronounced Elementary 7 Horus, not ours. I think it's I don't think it's that cool of a name, Horus. But that's what they call it. So, yeah. Again, it's not particularly something I would use now that I'm doing, I've been doing this messing with Linux for quite a few years now. I've been pretty much stuck with the Mate desktop environments, such as Linux Mint, Mate, Ubuntu Mate. I do like Zorin OS. Cody's having trouble with your brain keeping up. Okay. I'm good, man. I had my lunch. Just finished a bottle of 7-Up. Yeah. Lunch with Linux. Keep the brain active, right? If you guys happen to try Elementary OS, the latest one, let me know. I'll stick around just a few more minutes, see if anybody else is watching, wants to drop in to say hello. I do these live shows at random to give a bunch of folks a chance to chime in and say hello that would not normally have a chance for whatever reason, maybe based on time zones or whatnot. So I'll stick around a little bit more, and then we'll wrap it up for this Linux lunch. Man, that fajita was good. Well, hello, Thomas. Welcome. He says, good evening, young man. How are you, sir? I'm doing well. We're just doing a quick Linux lunch. Didn't know what else to call it, except I just finished lunch. So if you missed any of this, you can rewind it, rewatch this. We talked a little bit about Elementary, the latest from Elementary OS that you can take a look at. All right, so Cody says you're not going to use Elementary OS because if you want the best experience, you'll need to use their software and theming. You're sticking with Windows and Endeavor OS. That's interesting. Okay. Thomas just came back from work. Well, thank you for stopping by to relax. I hope I can make your evening a little more pleasant. And you will try Elementary OS 7. Very good. Let us know how it works out. Once again, a shout out to all of the supporters of the Total OS Today Technology channel. Thank you so much, as always. The background music, if you hear it, of course, provided by my very talented dad from Italia. Thomas says, how's the weather in the U.S.? Well, here, it's 17 degrees Fahrenheit. So, yeah, That's why I'm here, stuck inside having lunch and not outdoor. Of course, it is winter here in Ohio. Thomas, are you in Munich, if I recall? Ah, North Germany by the Baltic Sea. Okay. Yeah, it probably is colder there in Germany, yeah. Our singer friend Stephanie lives in currently in Munich. It's probably just as cold there. Oh wow, it's -8 degrees Celsius. Oh wow. That is cold, but hopefully here with us it's a little bit warmer, my friend. We've been lucky here, at least where I live, not too much snow lately. Well, here in the States, it's Fahrenheit. So, but I get what you're trying to say, Thomas. Celsius, yeah. Anything negative is cold. It doesn't matter if it's Fahrenheit or Celsius, right? So don't worry about it. Thomas, which Linux operating system do you use now, or do you even have one now? Amen, Thomas. I'm waiting for summer also. I think I can't speak for, when we hit a certain age, like, I don't know, 40, I'm past that. It seems like we don't want no more cold. So you have Mint 22 on 2 devices. Very good. Nice. Yeah, I have Linux Mint. I dual boot with my Windows 11 machine. Mint is excellent. Nothing wrong with that. Thomas, you waiting for your retirement from Windows? Well, good for you, my friend. Enjoy it. 5 years left. Ah, okay. Very nice. Oh no, I just ran out of my 7-Up. Oh well, I'll grab some more later. You know what's good? Red sweet wine and 7-Up mixed. Very tasty. We had a very, very cold spell here in the U.S. It was more than half the country back on the I think it was Christmas weekend, Thomas. It was nasty. We had a wind chill of -30 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I had my car parked outside, so when I went to start it, I went to crank the car and it was like see, cars would talk to you, when they get cold. You put the key in and the car talks to you. You turn the key. Please don't start me. Please don't start me. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Anyway. Yes, Italians definitely like their wine. Not wine for Linux, but the real wine that you drink. Not the wine software. That's not for me. Never worked for me. But the sweet wine that you drink, oh yeah. All right, I'm going to wrap this up in about 5 minutes for this half-hour Linux lunch with Total OS and you. If there's anybody else in the chat who wants to say hello or ask a question, please don't be shy. I love chatting with you guys when I have time. If not, we'll wrap it up here shortly. If you would like to contribute to the channel, there are links below in the show notes. Thank you. I don't use LibreOffice that much, Thomas. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't use it that much. Thomas, you avoid Microsoft? Okay. I use what works. Yeah. Oh, hi, Kenny. Kenny says, in extreme cold, the oil gets thick and the battery gets weak. Yeah. That's why most cars today, use full synthetic oil. I believe mine is 5W30. And I had the battery tested last fall, and I'm in good shape. But when it gets 30 below zero, it's going to be a strain on any car. But the clean synthetic oil is a must, 100%. Thomas, you have a car, cheap car, Dacia. Is that a German car? I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, Kenny, I would imagine auto supply parts stores in the States like, AutoZone, Advance, they probably sell lots and lots of batteries in the wintertime, I would imagine. My battery is inside the passenger compartment, which is kind of weird, but then I can understand why GM did that. So... Ah, the car belongs to Renault. Aha. It's built in Romania and Morocco. Wow. I have an international audience here. How cool is this? A wave of hands to my international friends. Yay! I'm guessing it's a 4-cylinder car, Thomas? It's a 3-cylinder. Wow. Okay. Don't hear too much about 3-cylinder cars. Hey, as long as it works. Well, there you use liters to fill your gas. Yeah, here it's gallons, yeah. You know, it's pretty sad when a dozen eggs is more than a gallon of gas here in the States. I can't believe it. A gallon of Clorox bleach is more than a gallon of gas. Go figure that out. Anyway. All right, guys, my half-hour lunch doing this is up. Thank you for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Again, if you missed any of this coming in late, just rewind it. And today's topic for this Linux lunch was the new elementary OS number 7. Check it out. All right, I'm done. I finished my lunch. Need to do other things for today. Thomas, stay warm there in Germany. And I will catch you on the next one. Take care.